Hello, fight trackers.
Welcome to another training video. So, in this cycle, we are working on our defenses on boxing combo number 1. So, again, in our regular curriculum, we've already learned how to evade and how to block combination number 1. But those aren't, especially in a real life scenario, what we want to do is to be able to finish the fight, create an opportunity for us to be able to run away and get out of that dangerous situation, or we want to finish it, right? Finish it, it could mean anything from as simple as knocking the other person out or taking it further. So in this video, we are going to be breaking down the 2 options that we train for boxing combo number 1, and we're going to be doing a throw and a control. So stick with us. Let's get to work. All right, so in this one, now we are actually just using our blocking skills because honestly, in a real fight, there's not going to be a lot of evasions happening. And evasions are not necessarily something that is going to allow you to get to control. Now, evasions do happen in a real fight, but evasions are more so a setup for counterattack. So if, let's say, Mrs. G is coming at me and throws like a jab, maybe I defend it. But if she goes with a cross and I'm able to fade out of the way, then really here, I'm not going to be able to get in and control or throw her, but more so I'm set up that when her punch is coming back, that I just get a hitter, and that becomes the end of the fight is, I fade, I hit my target right on the chin, and stun her enough that I can run away, or even best case scenarios, I hit her and I knock her out and she's down on the ground taking a little nap while I'm getting away. But if we're trying to get to a more of a situation where we're throwing the partner or we are getting to control them, then we want to use more of our blocking skill set. So on this one, just starting with the blocks, we're going to be doing same blocking set as we do with our regular curriculum. So when she goes jab, I'm going to parry with the same side hand. When she goes cross, I'm going to parry with the same side hand as well. Now from here, we're going to add a little something on there. So usually we do our covers when we are being attacked by a hook. So when she goes to hook, I cover to defend that punch. But we're actually going to add that onto when she crosses. So instead of just doing a parry, I'm going to parry it, and then I'm going to bring my hand up to cover. So in boxing, they call it just a parry cover, right? But in Pakiti Tersha Kali, we call this a parry salute. So when she comes at me with the jab, I'm going to parry, and then when she comes at me with the cross, I'm going to get that parry as well. That's the defense, but then I'm going to bring this hand up and do a good cover here, right? Now this is used in a lot of different ways. So I can actually attack the brachial nerve. When she comes in to cross, I can parry here, and I can actually attack the bottom of the arm as I come up, and then get to a grab here. A lot of times we can use that where we're going to bring it up, and then as I bring this down, I can actually attack with a hammer fist on the chin. So there's a lot of things that we can do with this, but in this particular technique, what's going to happen is we're going to end up grabbing the hand. So when she comes at me jab, I parry. When she comes at me cross, I'm going to parry, and I'm going to cover. All right? From there, what I'm going to do is my elbow is going to drop, and I'm going to bring this hand back and grab the wrist. At the same time, I'm going to grab C-grip. I'm going to grab under the elbow. Okay? And then from there is where we apply the technique. So from one more time, she comes at me, jab, I parry, cross, I parry, I cover, bringing the elbow down as I slide this hand over to grab the wrist, and I'm going to grab the C-grip from the bottom. Again, when I do this, I'm going to grab down on the wrist, up on the elbow. I don't want to grab same direction because there is her escape route. I don't want to grab from the same direction because now there's her escape route. if I grab high and I grab low, even if she gets one hand off, then I still have grip with the other hand. So it is kind of helping to sandwich the arm and keep it in good control. So in the next section, we're going to be taking a look at how we pull her to us and how we do the throw first. So we got the parry cover, we got the grip. So now we're going to move into the throw. So I call this the buddy throw. So the way that this one works is we're here. Mrs. G is going to again come at me with that jab cross. So I'm going to parry one. She goes cross, I'm going to parry, and then I bring that hand up to cover. Elbow is going to come back down as I grab the wrist, and I'm going to turn and grab the elbow. Now, in this one, what I want to do is I'm going to pull straight back. So what I'm doing is I'm going to actually step my own body back while I pull her, and hopefully I get her to take that step. If she doesn't, that's okay. If she just kind of leans out, then I'm okay with that as well. Now, once I pull, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook my leg behind hers, and my hand that's on her elbow is just going to reach around and just grab on the shoulder. See, we look like buddies, right? Oh, we love each other so much. Now, from here, with this hand, what I'm going to do, this foot is blocking that leg out. So as I grab the wrist here, and again, I don't really want to let go of this hand. I've already gotten control of the weapon, so I don't want to let it go. So I'm holding there, and what I'm going to do is just like I'm throwing a piece of trash away behind me, so I'm just hand throwing back behind me. So once I get here, I'm going to just throw, and then I would take off running, right? So we do again, right? So she comes at me, jab cross, parry, parry, coming through with that cover, going to grab. I'm going to slide back as I pull her forwards, and then I'm going to slip my leg back behind hers, hand on the elbow, comes back around like I'm giving her a nice little hug. And then from there, I do let go once I throw. So this hand is going to let go as I throw her down, and then I take off running. Now, I'm not just pulling back as I do this, I'm actually pulling kind of back and down. That's what is going to break their structure and allows this throw to happen. So, now there's a couple of ways that we can make this a bit meaner. So in the next section, I'm going to show you some of the variations. All right, now, variations of this one. So as we do this, again, there's always ways to make things a lot meaner as we go. So really, the main part of the curriculum that you're working on is just getting to the buddy throw and being able to get them down to the ground. But let's take a look at some other fun ways that we can do this. So from here, again, Mrs. G throws that jab cross. 1, 2, 3. I catch that hand, right? Again, I'm going to pull her, get that step forwards, and then I want to hook behind the leg just like we did before, right? Now, in this one, I can grab in different ways. So this is kind of where we start to get meaner as we go. So this one is the nice one. I'm just kind of hooking in and, just kind of pulling on the shoulder, pulling on the collarbone, basically. Now, there's some really nice nerves, both right in between your muscle that's right here, right, and the collarbone. So you've got a really major nerve that runs right along the collarbone and then turns into the brachial nerve into the arm. So I can actually hook into here, and as I pinch, I can actually make this throw better by actually digging the fingers into that nerve as I bring her down and throw her. There's also that same nerve you can activate right here in the front of the shoulder. And so that's kind of where that nerve leaves the collarbone and starts to go into the actual arm. So I can either activate it up here by the neck, in between the collarbone and the trapezoid, or I can activate it right here in the shoulder. Same idea, I can dig that guy in, and that nerve makes them want to lean back, which then makes them fall to the ground easier. So that's kind of one of the simple ways that we can make this more effective, especially if you were going against somebody that was a lot bigger than you. Somebody that's bigger than you, when you can activate nerves, it allows you to really create a lot more pain and pain is how you get the compliance. So a couple other variations that you can do with this is when she comes in, 1, 2, 3, I pull. Now in this one, as I step in, I can grab, go for the nerve, go for the nerve, go for regular. I can actually come up and grab more on like towards the eyes if they got longer hair. You know, obviously that doesn't work well on me. If they have a ponytail, then we can actually grab the ponytail and yank. You know, we can actually grab against the forehead and pull them down this way. So lots of variations on that grab. The even meaner version is when we pull, instead of going around them here, I'm actually going to come on the side in that's closest to me. So in this position, again, when I grab the head, I get a bigger throw backwards. I can actually start digging fingers into the eyes. And then our biggest variation would be coming more elbow in front of the chest. Again, this is really only if you are about the same height, or maybe they're a little bit smaller than you. They're really big. Say you're doing this on Master Fight, it's really hard to get that elbow over the top. But if I can get my arm across, then I'm actually getting to a point where now I can actually bind out the elbow, right? And then from here, as I throw, instead of actually bringing her to the ground, I can actually get to the position here where I have a reverse headlock, and this is actually a very bad place for Mrs. G or anybody to be. So again, with that one, it would just more so be that we are getting the inside rather than the outside. So when she attacks me, it's 1, 2, 3, I pull, and then from here, I'm just actually coming on the inside, getting that arm over, and then stretching there, and locking. So just a couple of fun little variations, all right? So that is our throw for this one. Again, I call it the buddy-buddy throw. And the next one, we're going to be looking at gaining control. So if we don't think that just throwing them to the ground is going to give us enough time to get away, then we can take it a step further. All right, so on this one, the way that we're going to control is we are going to do a rear naked choke. So the basic technique of our rear naked choke, what's going to happen is one hand. So in this case, we would be able to do this on either side. So it doesn't matter which hand is which, but it is going to depend on which side she's attacking me with. But the rear naked choke, basically the one we're going to be using for this one, is one hand is going to grab right at the bottom of our bicep. The other hand is going to lift up, and then we're going to chop down towards the elbow. We want to get this hand as far down there as possible. Okay? So again, it's just grabbing the bicep, hand comes up, chops down towards the other side elbow, and then if we do it on the other hand, this hand is going to grab the bottom of the bicep, this hand is coming up and chops towards the other elbow. Okay? Now, that's the basic technique. Now, we just got to put her neck in there. All right, so the way that this one works. So, same kind of concept. All of it is the same up into the actual, whether I'm doing the throw or whether I'm going for the control. So, Mrs. G throws a jab cross. I'm going to do the parry salute, catch the arm, and I'm going to pull her again. Now, on this one, instead of pulling backwards, straight back, I don't really care if she steps. In fact, it's worse for her if she doesn't step. So it's more comfortable if she does step forwards. So when you're training this in class with a partner, if you want to feel more comfortable, go ahead and take that step, because that's going to put you in a much more comfortable position here versus if she doesn't take that step and I pull, right? Now as I come in and I lock this, her legs are going to be more crossed up, and it actually makes it a lot more painful when you're getting put into the choke. So again, I don't care if she steps forward. The buddy-buddy throw, I really want to get that leg forwards, but on this one, I want the weight to actually come down more so. So when she comes in, jab cross, 1, 2, I'm going to grab, and this time, I'm going to actually be pulling more on a diagonal, like I'm trying to make her fist touch the ground, right? So I want to pull her down and get into a similar body position as this. Now from there, that's what makes this extra mean, because I'm going to clothesline her and then wrap her into that rear naked choke. So parry, parry, salute, grab, I'm going to pull down, get her head down, and as her head comes down, I'm going to hit her with my bicep, like right in the throat. Now once I hit her, I'm going to lift her up, and I'm bringing that arm across. Now from there, what I want to do is have her weight, her hips forward as far as I can. So as I bring her into this side, I want to push her hips so you can see how her head dropped a little bit. And then now that's where I grab the bicep, bring this arm up, and I'm going to chop it behind the neck here, right? I'm going to get that as tight to my elbow as possible. And then from there, all I'm going to do is grip my own arms, and I'm going to just flex my muscles. And I get that rear naked choke. So, one more time. She goes, now, let's actually switch sides. So, I'm going to have Mrs. G switch feet. So, we're actually going to go the other side forward. So, now she's going with a jab with her right hand and a cross with her left hand. So, now, my left hand is the one that's actually going to be doing it all, right? So, when she comes at me, I'm going to go parry. I go parry, I'm going to salute, grab, drag her down. Now my left hand is the one that's going to clothesline her here. I'm going to hit. I'm going to slide behind her. I want to push her hips out a little bit, and then I grab my own bicep. Now notice here, when I do this, I don't have this arm in front of her, because if I do this and I'm trying to lift this arm up, all she has to do is grab it there, and then she can actually lock my elbow right here. If she keeps going, she's going to break that elbow, and that's going to be a bad day for me. So I get this position, I grab, and my hand comes up over on the side, and then is going to slip behind, while I'm turning back at her. And then again from here, I just grip my own arms even stronger, and I flex my muscles to actually start to choke the partner. Now, if I held that, if I do it right, all I got to do is hold my arms flexed for maybe anywhere from 5 to 20 seconds, and the partner will actually go to sleep for just a small period of time, just a little nap. Right? Now, in the next one, I just want to show you a variation, not of the actual choke, but just a little variation of how we can defend the jab cross. So, stick with me for the last section. All right, so just a little bit different so we really don't vary the choke much. There are different ways that we can apply this choke. We don't have to go all the way to this rear naked style, right? I could actually just stay in this position and lock my hands and actually still get a pretty good choke in there. There's a lot of weird little variations, but ultimately it's the same thing. But with this one, just a little different way that we can defend the jab cross and still get into either the buddy-buddy throw or the actual rear naked. So when Mrs. G comes up, so instead of, when she comes at me jab cross, instead of going parry into this salute here, one of the ways that we can do is a bit more aggressive. So all we do is kind of just like in our traditional forms where we do an inner block and an outer block, right? So if she goes jab cross, I can inner block, and then her cross comes and I can outer block. So I can actually turn that into a lot more aggressive hit, and then hit, and really start to kind of do some destructions on the arms, and then come in and go for either the buddy-buddy throw or the rear naked. Or one of my favorites is, we call it the swim, so just like I'm kind of doing my swing here, right? But what I'm going to do is swim one way and then swim the other way, catch and pull. So on this one, what I do is I over parry a little bit. So when she goes jab, I'm going to actually over parry. So now her cross is going to come, and my hand is here. Her cross is coming this way. So all I have to do is bring that hand back. So I can use the same hand for both. So she goes jab cross, 1, 2, and I bring that right into pull, clothesline, push those hips out, get that rear naked, and finish it off. So just a fun little variation. Even on the hammer fist ones, this is getting a little more into a style called Hanatuken. but when she goes jab cross, I'm going more hit, hit, and then I'd actually finish by going more hammer fist to the face. So again, boom, boom, 1, 2, right? Boom, boom, 1, 2. So more aggressive style. Again, I can flow it a little bit better. Boom, boom, pull her in, come through, boom, get that buddy throw. So just some extra little fun pieces. We will play with those, but primarily, again, your curriculum for this cycle is defending the jab cross, getting the parry salute, pull them in, and doing the buddy throw, and being able to get to that rear naked. So thanks for training. See you next time.